Good morning. Chief guest, guest of honor, chief guest, everything is Rasogiji, with the Principal Secretary, Higher and Technical Education. Because we see the future in him for higher and technical education. That's what we were even informally chatting with him, along with my co-chair, and even the President of EU Council, Piyushji, for your august presence here. Renuji, who's an anchor for everything of all the committees, my esteemed panel members on the first panel, second panel, other dignitaries who are present here, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed nice to be here for this half-day conference. And as Piyush just mentioned, I'm sure today morning being an early session, probably you can see today's, in fact, Times of India's one of the headlines of future, innovation needs a V approach. So what sir was mentioning about a couple of points, 5 points agenda, and in that first point itself, the strategic collaboration is India needs a V approach because innovation is not me, but clearly it is we. And you also mentioned about innovation point of view, which is one of the major area. And again, today's ET, if you look at ET Panache, some of the kind of expectations from the entrepreneurs, which is on 5 tech inventions bosses would love to see. And these are the top-end kind of startup companies. And one of the kind of response is Amit Khatri talking about from co-founder Noise. I would like to see smartwatches empowered by advanced AI. I believe that the integration of biosensing technology and AI within smartwatches could be a game changer. He's talking about it. Our theme, we're talking about technology point of view, and I'm sure the other ones also, you'll find Shankar Prasad, founder of Plum. I would like to see smartphones that run on energy generated by walking or running. And what if we can make piezoelectric shoes that generate energy and we wirelessly transfer that to the phone instead of energy consumption? So again, linking with the sustainability point of view for the future, that how probably our own day-to-day routine itself can generate energy and which we probably can source. Sandeep Ghosh, who is the Group Country Manager of Visa, India and South Asia, is talking about a great piece of tech that I would love to see, something that allows you to make payments without any kind of device. Payments without any kind of device. Not just your mobile or watch, and possibly even without a device. For example, just fingerprints or a retina scan. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's very evident, very clear what we're talking about. The future clearly belongs to technology, and probably to have a better tomorrow, I'm sure we need to really look at sustainability point of view. First and foremost, I really feel that leadership is the genesis for anything and everything, whatever we do, be it for technology inventions or sustainability or any other aspect to manage the show for the future. And when we speak about leadership, which already mentioned by Piyushji, and in that at least my emphasis would be more on we should look at what is sustainable leadership and are we focusing on sustainability point of view, that's sustainable leadership. The simple way in which one can talk about the sustainable leaders understand and embrace the growing complexity of the world, which makes them more adaptable, and most significantly, they are long-term thinkers. They are not short-term thinkers. Probably we may take some kind of setback, we may take some kind of short-term loss, but have a great impact for the future. So that's the kind of philosophy with which sustainable leadership is looking into it, and guided by strong values, and they undertake bold steps. So somewhere deep down, when we're talking about the sustainable leadership, we also need to keep in mind that are we looking at that larger picture or whole big picture, or for the convenience sake, probably be a lot of time dissect into the multiple, I'll say, problems, maybe deltas, delta 1, 2 likewise, and then probably head forward. Now, that approach is absolutely good from the management point of view or manageability point of view, but while doing so, are we keeping back of our mind that big picture? Otherwise, probably somewhere we may lead to, and very rightly said by physicist David Bohm, he says, the task is futile similar to reassemble the fragments of a broken mirror to see a true reflection. And I'm sure all of our audience must be aware of Peter Senge spoke about same thing. And one of his favorite area was the systemic thinking. That are we keeping back of our mind while trying to address some of the problems, be it on climate change, be it on employability, be it on tech disruptions point of view, are we also keeping in mind that long-term picture very clearly? And I'm sure this leadership when we're talking about is very clearly from moving from profit maximization to value creation and powered by the technology. And in this aspect, this leadership is keeping in mind, we normally talk about PPP or TBL, people, planet, and profit, or triple bottom line kind of aspect, and I'm sure which makes a lot of sense. Accenture study shows that, I'm sorry KPMG guys, I'm talking about probably Accenture, not KPMG here, but Accenture study shows that tomorrow's strongest performing businesses are likely to be the twin transformers. And companies that find new value at the intersection of digital technologies and sustainability, powered by these twin engines of growth, they are likely to perform 2.5x for the future point of view. And I'm sure leadership is going to play a very active role. And I must mention here, when we speak about all these aspects, we must realize that our actions and inactions have consequences because we all are making the same movie. Sometimes we don't realize that, but yes, we need to kind of look at that. And this leadership, when we're talking about, they're trying to look forward to the better for the future generation without depletion of the natural resources. So I think this aspect is very important, and keeping in mind the multiple stakeholders. I'm sure this leadership also will keep in mind, and when we look at some of the companies progressing that direction, not with the linear thinking or linear mindset, but exponential thinking and exponential mindset. I'm sure people like Peter Diamandis from Singularity or Ray Kurzweil, those guys are talking about 6Ds kind of principle, miniaturization, democratization, those kind of areas. I'm sure those kind of aspects we must keep in mind. And when we are moving in this direction, I also feel that some of our academic leaders also sitting here in World Economic Forum also talked about kind of, which I'm sure my co-chair in second session is going to mention about the skilling point of view for Gen Z. The World Economic Forum is clearly talking about the 4 basic kind of skill sets. Are we looking at that when we're trying to nurture the young minds? One of the self, how far we are trying to look into the self-awareness which is leading to the self-transformation. Because when we're talking about the future can't be left only to the governments, future can't be left only to the corporates or only to the society, and we ourselves as a self will not play a role. But somewhere deep down, I'm sure, before even we could talk about the sustainability for the society or nation or maybe organization, we should really come down to self-transformation. To self is the first aspect. Second is in terms of team point of view or group point of view. The team aspect, how we are probably getting into understanding the people management point of view, because whatever said and done, I'm sure people are bound to be around, in and around us. How far we probably learn or teach them even to learn through heterogeneity, through even opposable minds. Then problem-solving kind of skill sets, and finally on technology side. In this, I'm sure we must nurture the mindset for the younger generation from a theme point of view in the culture of experimentation. I'm sure sometimes we are very much averse to experimentation because of the consequence is going to be positive or negative. But whatever may be the outcome, I'm sure we do learn from the failures as well. Or probably learning from the failures is infinite. So somewhere we need to embed that thought process. The experimentation works, period. Probably I think one can really go ahead and work out. And in this, probably everybody is very concerned, and I'm sure in the panel 1 we'll speak about sustainability point of view, and we will be happy to listen to our panel members, that with the advancement of technology or technological disruptions, everybody is worried that we'll have a lot of unemployment. People will probably find problems to make up in terms of a reskilling point of view. But I think one aspect which we must keep in mind, even for companies' point of view, I'm sure some of the company leaders also sitting here, that significance of IBR is greater than ROI. The IBR is investment before returns. We should look at it. ROI is maybe, I'm sure companies have to keep in mind, they're in the business of business for the same. But I think the investment point of view, be it governments, be it companies, or be it we ourselves, I think this aspect probably is very important. And we need to challenge the status quo, probably mindset which is there. And power of vision in this aspect is very important from the leadership point of view, which we should take it forward. And the learning compass, which is actually being devised by and mentioned by, in fact, OECD countries, that becomes some kind of guiding principles for us. And at the same time, multiple experiments which we all are doing, can we probably kind of, put the collective wisdom of all those multiple stakeholders and move forward? Probably my request to our Principal Secretary of Higher and Technical Education, Rastogi ji, what a best way this EU Council, if we can work together, because the efforts are going on for all those 27 countries parallelly, and I'm sure you are always very active to bring together multiple institutions from NEP point of view, multidisciplinary point of view, and even global partners as well. Now, probably if you could get a chance, opportunity to strengthen your hands in this initiative, we'll be more than happy. And thank you very much for being here today. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.